voters have been saying this for quite a long time. The reality is that the Democratic elites are mostly late to acknowledge these age and ability issues.
Hey guys, I'm on a press tour this week, but we didn't want you to miss this clip by Jake Tapper, who's like kinda sorta trying. Maybe he's not that horrible, or he kind of is. Well, you decide.
Today, President Biden called into one of his favorite TV shows, Morning Joe on MSNBC, and he railed against what he called the elites.
I'm getting so frustrated by the elites. Now, I'm not talking about you guys, but about the elites in the party who they know so much more.
President Biden seems to be trying to frame what's going on right now as the average voters who want him versus the elites of the Democratic Party, donors and lawmakers and opinion makers, many of whom have serious concerns about Biden's ability to be the candidate and have called for him to step down after that debate performance that let's call baffling. In reality, 72% of voters say that they believe President Biden is too old. That's according to CNN's most recent polling. Voters have been saying this for quite a long time. The reality is that the Democratic elites are mostly late to acknowledge these age and ability issues compared to the rest of the public. The elites have been forced to reckon with it after the debate just 11 days ago.
Look at my career. I've not had many of those nights. It was a terrible night, and I really regret it happened. But the fact of the matter is, how can you assure you're going to be on faith that can intervene on your way to go to, work tomorrow? Age wasn't, the idea I'm too old.
The fact of the matter is, how can you assure you're going to be out on your way to go, work tomorrow? Age wasn't, the idea that I'm too old. Keep in mind, that soundbite is supposed to be reassuring to those Democratic supporters who have gone wobbly.
It's a good look watching CNN getting the dirty work done. This is the kind of attention they should have been given to the Biden
from day one.
They've been doing this to Trump for a long time. So now they turn against Biden just to give Biden a taste of his own medicine.
Because the elite
doesn't feel good, does it?
Because the elites are on board with it now.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for the elites being on board with it, this would still be a freaking clown show.
I agree. It's part of the plan. That's what I said earlier. They want this to happen. And I think Biden's going to go. It looks like Kamala Harris. He's the girl. It looks like it. And guess what? I don't know where that's going to go. You don't think so?
I don't think so.
She's the vice president. You can't skip her.
They can.
That's going to
I think they're going to pull in a wild card.
You think so?
Yeah. Big Mike.
You think Big Mike? Come on, not Big Mike.
Yeah, they're going to pull in Big Mike. I bet you anything. Because they know Kamala Harris isn't electable. She's even more hated than Joe.
But I heard Big Mike doesn't even want to be elected. Big Mike
doesn't matter. They're going to force him anyway.
He said
I mean, come on. They're going to be like, hey, you want to keep those benefits? You want to keep this going? You got to do what we say.
Oh no, Big Mike.
It's the only thing that makes any sense. It's the only one that could actually, polling wise, stand against Trump. It's the only one that makes any sense.
Yeah. Gavin Newsom is not gonna do it.
Gavin Newsom can't do it.
Oh, he's white.
None of the other governors can do it. Kamala Harris definitely can't do it. Kamala Harris would be down 15 points against Trump in recent polls. So,
well, let's say if your enemy is making mistakes, don't get in his way. So let the Democrats figure it out. But
that and a house divided against itself can't stand.
Exactly. But I'm trying to understand, how are they going to make that happen? By what law? Because if Joe Biden steps down,
21st Amendment,
which advocates for what? Are they
if the president is mentally incapable of carrying out the duties of his presidency, then Congress can vote him out.
So Congress can vote him out and vote in whoever they want?
And then whoever they want at the caucus can announce their candidacy.
Wow, what a plan. But if that is the case, how much do Republicans have to say in that? Do they
They don't have anything to say about it because it's the Democratic caucus.
Golly, what a plan. Woo! And my thought was there's gonna be greater division in the Democratic Party as a result, because if you skip Kamala Harris, remember she's black, quote unquote, and black people ain't gonna like that very much, and black women are gonna be really really mad for skipping Kamala Harris. But if again, like you say, if they pick Big Mike, I think they're gonna just satisfy their needs,
Exactly. He's the only one that checks all the boxes.
Hey, check your pronoun, brother. Check your pronoun.
I said boxes. I mean,
You say he's the only.
Hey, well,
That could be a whole nother conspiracy theory discussion they will have with us. Well, let's not get into that. But Jake Tapper is on fire right now. I can't believe him. He's on fire.
But you see what I'm saying, though? It's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah. Got you.
Many Democratic officials with whom I've spoken are worried that President Biden and his family and his inner circle appear to be in complete denial, not just about whatever might be wrong with him, but the state of his candidacy right now.
Did you ever watch the debate afterwards?
I don't think I did, no.
He doesn't think he did. After facing increasing pressure to demonstrate in public an ability to...
Not to mention the fact that after the debate, they had a doctor come to the White House who is an expert on Parkinson's.
Good point. And not just that, but I heard the doctor has visited at least 8 times.
Yeah. So, I mean...
Karine Jean-Pierre says he has nothing to do with nothing.
Come on. The American public aren't idiots.
Yeah. Did you see that video that I did about the doctor from MSNBC?
Some of them are, but, for the majority of us...
I was going to say, you would have cleaned that up. Some of us are really that crazy.
Some of them are because they have Trump derangement syndrome.
Of course.
But most of us aren't that naive to think that you're sending a doctor on a regular basis to the White House for no reason at all.
Yeah. Have you heard this doctor? This doctor on NBC News? I did a video about him last night. Boy, listen, take a piece from him. So he's going to tell you
quadruple board certified neurologist.
What's going on? He's a neurologist. Listen to what he says about that Biden.
Oh, this is the doctor that visited the White House.
I mean, it's ironic.
He's not the doctor who visited the house. He didn't visit the White House. I don't think he's the one. But
it just said at the bottom that
he just give it. Let me see. Parkinson's
expert.
Yeah, he's talking about the doctor who does that. But this doctor hasn't examined Biden. He's just looking at him for his value, and he's like, "Let me tell you what's going on here."
And also,
have you noticed any?
Go ahead.
Also, keep in mind, Biden in his entire term when he was senator had 2 strokes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he actually had 2 strokes.
Oh, that's not a good thing.
So,
that's sad.
It's just a side note. Anyway.
Yeah. All right.
Anything that gives you a red flag as a doctor?
Oh, yeah, I see him 20 times a day in clinic. I mean, it's ironic because he has just such classic features of neurodegeneration. I mean, word finding difficulties, and that's not, I couldn't find the word. That's from degeneration of the word retrieval area.
He's also overcome stuttering, though. Could that be part of that, too?
No, this is not a palatal issue or a speech discrepancy, which is very different from a lemino dysfunction, actual word retrieval, where you pick a similar question or talk around the issue, plus the rigidity, monotone voice.
Wait, go back to that, the rigidity. What do you mean?
Rigidity, loss of arm swing, standing up lordotically. You notice when he turns, it's kind of end block turning. It's not a quick turn. So that's one of the hallmarks of Parkinsonism is rigidity and bradykinesia, slow movement. And he has that hallmark, especially with the low voice that said was a cold, hypophonia. A small monotone voice like this over time is a hallmark of Parkinsonism. I could have diagnosed him from across the mall.
Here are some of the symptoms from Parkinson's. We just had him up there on the screen. If we can put him back. What about the movement? Some people have pointed out the way he walks. Sometimes it's not very fast, small steps. Is that something that is common in people who are battling a disease like Parkinson's?
Yeah, it's a hallmark. Shuffling gait, we call that, so little steps. Loss of arm swing from the rigidity. When we walk, we have a nice cadence. You notice he doesn't really swing his arms. And end block turning, meaning he kind of pivots around his foot. If you said, hey, President Biden, he wouldn't go like this. So, yeah.
But I also know, and tell me if I'm wrong here, it's very hard to diagnose Parkinson's.
Did you say pause it?
No,
I'm sorry. Okay.
Isn't it? It's not simple. I mean, I've heard that it can be.
It's one of the easier movement disorders to diagnose, actually.
Right,
but it's so clinic. There's very little other. And I'm a Democrat. I always say about this.
Right.
It's just like this guy is not a hard case.
But I've had relatives who have gone through issues, neurological issues, and I've heard that sometimes Parkinson's is not very easy to nail. You have to take a lot of tests.
It's early on. If you're just presented with like hallucinations, that could be a variety of things, or just the cognitive problems. That could be Alzheimer's versus Parkinsonism, and that becomes a little nebulous. But once you start manifesting the hallmark motor symptoms,
right?
Slow movement, rigidity, mass facies, hypophonia. I mean, if a med student did not pick Parkinson's on the test, they'd be remediated.
So let me ask you if you
oh, wow. You say I'm a Democrat. This guy is not a hard case.
Yeah.
Wow.
All the symptoms are there. It's painfully obvious. Hello? If a med student can't fake it out, then
the media is done with Biden, man. They are done with Biden. When they bring an expert to talk about Biden this way, it's over, man. Biden is over. It's over. They finished with you, man.
He's toast.
Take questions and respond cogently for a lengthy period of time live about what he wants to do with the United States, his message, his plans, his policies. The president and his team have not held a press conference to demonstrate just that. He continues to do what he has done sparingly in the past, a short taped sit down with an anchor, in this case, George Stephanopoulos of ABC News. But before the president did that, he called into a couple of black radio stations where he said, among other things, this.
By the way, I'm proud to be, as I said, the first vice president, first black woman, served with a black president. I'm proud of the first black woman in the Supreme Court. There's just so much that we can do because together there's nothing. Look, this is the United States of America.
Wow, he really messed that one up. I know what he's trying to say. He probably, he has the first black woman as vice president, but he didn't try to. I mean,
he said he's the first black woman as president, as vice president.
That's what he meant to say. Boy, that's a big one.
He claimed to be the first black woman vice president.
Oh, Biden, what have you done? This is the leader of the free world. Guys, he's got the nuclear code. Just want to remind you.
Oh,
Lord, help us.
We need Trump back so bad.
ASAP.
He's proud to be the first black woman. Not coherent. And even then, we later found out, from the radio host, that the Biden campaign had given her a list of questions to ask President Biden. That is a huge no-no in journalism, and the host was fired for it. But it remains quite telling that in the Biden campaign's efforts to show that the president has not missed a step, his campaign felt the need to feed questions to the hosts for a call-in radio interview.
Did you hear that the radio host got fired because she exposed that?
They do this all the time.
Yeah.
This is standard procedure for any time he does an interview. Yeah. Like during the debate, even during the debate, they gave him the questions for the debate a week early and, went over them step by step and trained him to answer the questions.
And that's why I don't know why Jake is saying this. He's kind of like, come on, Jake.
This is nothing new.
You know how this thing goes. And you've been doing this. Like, okay. That's why Donald Trump called him a fake tapper. Anyway.
And the president still, even then, failed to deliver in many of his answers. Now, many elected Democrats are expressing concern about this answer, too, although it was quite coherent. George Stephanopoulos asking him how he would feel if he ultimately loses to Donald Trump, which polls have suggested he will.
I feel as long as I gave it my all and I did the goodest job as I know I can do, that's what this is about.
Not good enough, buddy. I give it my all. No, buddy. This is the Democrats don't want that.
If that's your all, then that was a pretty bad performance.
I did the goodest job as I know I can do. That's what this is about.
As long as he gave it his all and did the goodest job he could do.
Stay right there, people, because the only
I don't give them much credit for even telling the truth because they've been the same one lying to us. So
No.